You guys, I'm scared. What? Welcome back. If you're new, my name is Kristen and you reached my little corner of the internet. Yes, if you saw the video I posted right before this, my mood reading vlog, I am wearing the same exact outfit and makeup look right now in that because I filmed those clips back to back. But I'm coming at you today with another reading vlog. Who decides my video ideas and schedules? Like, who decided to do another reading vlog? Me. Yes, we have another reading vlog this week, and originally I was going to actually just do a sit-down video and talk about all of my 5-star books, like all the books I've ever given 5 stars. I've read over 200 books since 2022 and I've only given 16 5 stars, which is not a great ratio, but I mean, maybe that says something about my rating system. I don't know. But I was like, I feel like over half of these books I've given 5 stars were in 2022 and 2023, and my reading taste definitely has changed since then. So why not reread some of them and put myself maybe through the torture of rereading some of these books that I gave 5 stars, whether it's good torture because it was absolutely gut-wrenching, or bad torture because maybe it's a Colleen Hoover book. So I meant to start this vlog yesterday. I didn't because I can never start vlogs on a Monday for whatever reason. They're just, Mondays come around and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna start a reading vlog. No, never do. But I did start reading yesterday. Yes, I started reading Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. I gave this 5 stars in December of 2022. It's been a fat minute since then, obviously. And I started reading it last night. I'm a little bit over halfway. I'm on page 213. I really bolted through the first half of this book already, and I am prepared to bolt through the next half and get this done because, boy oh boy, I gave this 5 stars? Why? So before getting into this reading vlog, I thought I would quickly list off the books I have given 5 stars, the 16 books that are worthy of this title. So let's get started. The one book that I don't have in this stack, for whatever reason, it's downstairs, I don't know why, is A Love Letter to Whiskey. That's a book I've given 5 stars. So the rest of them are up here with me, but that's the one book that's missing from this pile. I don't know why, but A Love Letter to Whiskey is the first, not the first book I gave 5 stars. These are not in numeric, like quintessential or any sort of order. I just put them all in a stack. So I could have given this 5 stars yesterday or 3 years ago. So A Love Letter to Whiskey, I know, was a 2024 5 star. So that's a more recent one. So I'm not going to be rereading that one in this vlog. But I did really enjoy A Love Letter to Whiskey. And you will see a theme of what books I give 5 stars that fall under that same genre under A Love Letter to Whiskey, because it's either everyone's 5 star or a 1 star. So I'm on the 5 star end. But anyway, I wanted to do this without any explanation. I can't ever do that, but let's quickly run through these. Kingdom of Ash, of course. Asimov, duh. Fourth Wing, yep. The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, which could be reread in this vlog, we'll see. Magnolia Parks, and frankly the entire series is a 5 star series for me, but the first book in Magnolia Parks, of course, is the standout and a 5 star. Artless and Powerless from the Chestnut Spring series. I mean, yes, and yes. This is a new 5 star read for me for 2025. Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. It's the first book I read by her, and I hella tapped it up because it was that good. Yep, 5 stars. Hopeless, of course, I said this already. I gave it 5 stars in 2022, and obviously I'm rereading it right now, and that rating may change. All of these books I will accept 0 criticism on, but especially Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Yeah. Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows I both gave 5 stars because, duh. If You Had Been With Me, this rating may change, but it's still a really good book, but I gave it 5 stars at the time. Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Yeah. And then the first book I ever reread, Archer's Voice, obviously gave it 5 stars, gave it 5 stars the second time around. This is the annotated copy that Mia Sheridan, she released an annotated version with like some of her little notes inside, and I also made my own little notes inside. So those are the books that I have given 5 stars. and could be classified as 6-star reads. Some of them could. Magnolia Park's definitely in that category. Throne of Glass, just Akamov, I think. What else? Oh, Yours Truly probably could be classified as a 6-star read. So, I don't really know, besides Hopeless, where I am gonna go from here. I really do want to reread Magnolia Parks. Let me grab it. Ever since Into the Dark came out, I have been itching to reread Magnolia Parks. I haven't read Into the Dark, and I kind of made it a goal of mine to reread all of the MPU for Into the Dark. So I think we're gonna pick up Magnolia Parks after I finish Hopeless. So wish me luck. I have the first 4 original indie copies, which is so special. Yeah, I think we might have to do Magnolia Parks after Hopeless, and I'm a little bit terrified, but that's what this vlog is about, because I know I'm gonna sob. So we're gonna finish Hopeless first, and then talk about it, see where I land, because at the moment, Hopeless is feeling hopeless. I can see why I gave it 5 stars at the time. I was just reintroducing reading into my adult life. It was the end of 2022. Well, I started reading again at the beginning of 2022, and I was reading a lot of Coho during that year, and her writing is nothing extraordinary. It is truly simple, easy, very digestible reading. It is not anything complex, and I think that is why I gave it 5 stars. And because the plot of Hopeless is something very different than the rest of her books, I feel like. I think it really stands out from the rest of her books. And again, I read the first half of the book yesterday. I read 213 pages yesterday, which is crazy. It's just so bingeable and easy to read. It really takes 0 brain power to read any of her books. I fly through them quite literally super fast. So think that is why I was able to give it 5 stars. Their Hopeless is very different, and the way that the story turns, like the way that it goes and ends, is absolutely was mind blown. It was insane. So we'll see how I feel about it a second time around, because I don't remember every minute detail. And then I read Hope, whatever, the book after Hopeless. It's in the MMC's point of view. I read it like right after, in like a day. So there was a lot going on, but I think I know I'm gonna continue reading Hopeless right now. So let's continue doing that for now. Hello, we have some things to discuss. So it is the next day. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. And I have a few updates for you guys. First major update is that I finished Hopeless by Miss Coho over here. And to probably nobody's shock, I removed this from my 5-star fan club. It was a 5-star in 2022 when I first read it, and it will stay a 5-star in 2022. However, in 2025, this will now be a 3.75. At one point, I loved this book so much I gave it 5 stars. And then reading it on Monday and finishing it yesterday, I was like, Okay, fair enough. I could see why I gave this 5 stars. It's the same reason why you give maybe Dork Diaries 5 stars at 8 years old. But like, and I wouldn't, I mean, maybe I would give Dork Diaries 5 stars right now, but she's kind of an icon. But I think reading this book for the first time, jaw definitely on the floor for sure. Reading it the second go around, you just read all of the juvenile thoughts that are in Sky's head. And it's like, I mean, the way it's set up is literally like the chapters are dates and times. So it's literally like reading a 17-year-old's diary, and it's good in the moment, but I just don't think it was worth the 5-star rating rereading it again. And in 2022, I was reading a lot of YA high school romances, and now like just reading high school romances is just not my favorite, except for you're probably shouting, Boys of Tom and Kristen. Boys of Tommen is a high school romance series. Yes, but there are so many different layers to Boys of Tommen outside of it just being a high school sports romance. Like, there is just so much that goes on in Boys of Tommen besides like all of that. So that for me is an exception. But like, I feel if like I were to read like Better Than the Movies again, I maybe wouldn't have liked it. I probably would not like it now as much as I did when I've read it for the first time, just because of how much my reading taste has changed. But I think just the writing in here made the high school romance just like borderline cringe. And I don't want to compare this to Boys of Tommen because there are some like heavy hitting topics that appear in here. I just think the way that they're handled in a Coho book versus a Chloe Walsh book is very different. And I can't exactly put my finger on it. It just, well, both of their writing styles are truly something very drastically different. I think Coho's writing is just nothing revolutionary, and you're reading it and it like, this is like borderline cringe, and you're like, oh, I don't know. But the storyline, aside from the writing, the storyline of Hopeless is truly something I've never even like fathomed to have put in a book, but it is here anyway. I don't know. I don't know if I would recommend reading this book. If it is something, if you read the summary and you're like, maybe I could see myself reading this, then go for it. Because honestly, like what you think, I don't even know what the summary says. I don't remember reading it, but like, I'm sure whatever's back here is it's a complete 180 in the book for sure. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Hopeless. I'm glad I reread it just because it's really visiting a time in my life when, I was reading again, and the book talk, the Coho craze, like, you were there. It was a time. So going back to this period when, Coho was all over the internet, and now like 4 years later seeing or even talking about Coho is, I guess, somewhat blasphemous now. I don't really know, but fine, good, 3.75. I don't think it deserves a 4-star in my eyes, but there are some people who still pick this book up for the first time in 2025 and give it 5 stars. So, it's a push and pull, but that is just my opinion on it. So take it with a grain of salt if you want. That brings us to our next book we're starting in this vlog. Magnolia Parks. Oh my gosh. I read this book in 2023, I want to say. I don't think I read this in 2022. Yeah, I read this in March of 2023, sorry. And I gave it 5 stars, like in an instant. Like, this was an automatic 5-star for me. So it's crazy to go back 2 years later and reread this. This is the first time I'm rereading this book. I have been meaning to reread it because I believe I said this at the beginning of this vlog. I haven't read Into the Dark yet. It is sitting in my cart staring at me. And now that it came out more than a year ago, I was like, you know what? I probably should reread all of the books before getting into the dark. Into the Dark. And I was like, I don't know when the heck I'm gonna do that, but this was the perfect opportunity to start that journey, at least. So I'm not gonna be reading the rereading the whole series in this book vlog, sorry. But at least starting with the first book, of course, with Magnolia and BJ. And I haven't annotated yet. I'd forgot my pen outside when I was reading today, and I took photos of like the quotes and stuff, so I need to go back because I actually haven't annotated any of the copies because I read these when I wasn't really annotating at all, really. I just got into annotating like less than a year ago, so I definitely want to go in and highlight and tab the absolute living heck out of this book because I just want to go back and reread all of the quotes that I highlight. It's kind of funny because this actually has a lower rating on Goodreads than Hopeless, and I love this book way more. It's just my kind of book. A love letter to whiskey, if you haven't read it, very similar to this. I recently read Ghosted by J.M. Darhauer, and again, like not extremely similar to this, but the same kind of like push and pull with your soulmate, your one true love, and it's just like you can't be with them, but you know you should be, and they're like the only person meant for you type of thing. So that is exactly what Magnolia Parks is, except like UK Gossip Girl-esque, and it's so much fun. I feel like I'm reading about my friends, and like the first time I read this book, every time I put it down, I was always craving to pick it back up and read it again. I like miss them whenever I put this book down. So it is so nice to be back in this world again and just reading about rich people problems. Yeah, I am exactly 100 pages in, and I don't know how far I will get tonight. I do want to read some more today. We'll see. Obviously enjoying it so far. And yeah, those are the updates I have for you right now. I don't really know what I want to do at the moment. I just sat out for an hour and read 100 pages. So maybe I start editing this vlog. I don't know, but we'll see when I get back to reading Magnolia Parks later. Y'all, it has been a freaking day. Holy heck. So the last clip was me finishing Magnolia Parks, and that was on Friday, and today is Monday. I'm telling y'all, these reading vlogs, I love filming them. Don't get me wrong, I love filming them. I just like, I don't know what it is, why I just can't film anything on the weekends. I just can't. Monday through Friday, and then Saturday hits and I'm just, nope. I still get reading done, I just don't film it, and I also wasn't reading anything for this vlog. I've been starting to crack into my August TBR, which I'm not even through one book of that list yet, and we are 4 days into August, so. But yes, I did officially finish Magnolia Parks for the second time. Hey, this was a reread. Plain. I have my balcony door open because it is hot as balls, and you're like, Kristen, why are you wearing a sweatshirt? You should take it off. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, so I officially finished Magnolia Parks for the second time. Duh, this is a reread vlog. 5 stars, obviously. Hello. I immediately want to get into Daisy Hates. Mistake number 1 was me wanting to do this reread, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm for sure. I need another car to drive by. Oh, okay. I was planning to do a Magnolia Parks reread for a while, and I was like, I want to do a tandem read with it because a lot of people, obviously, I didn't tandem read the first time I went around this series, and I don't recommend that. If you're reading Magnolia Parks for the first time, just read the books as in order by themselves. Do not tandem read them because then it's just going to get really confusing. But I wanted to do a tandem read for this reread, and I completely forgot. So maybe for Long Way Home and The Great Undoing, I could do a tandem read, but I have missed my opportunity to do a tandem read with MP1 and Daisy Hates One. So yay. But obviously Magnolia Parks, another 5-star read. Yes, that book is, you know what? There is so much controversy around Jessa Hastings aside, just Magnolia Parks in general, I think. And it's just like, I love these books because they are so much more than just a romance. They are truly a character study, looking into these characters and like what makes them so, I don't want to say corrupt, but just like so broken and like toxic and just not normal humans at all. And it's just so fun to read about because I'm not like that. I don't know what it says about me though, liking to read those, but you know, whatever. Obviously, rereading it, you can catch all the crumbs and little, I don't want to say Easter eggs, but like just the little hints of foreshadowing in Magnolia Parks for for what's to come in the rest of the series. And I don't know what happens in Into the Dark yet, which is scary. So I'm actually really glad that I'm rereading it because I had forgotten so much that happens in MP1. So now, you know, that information being fresh in my mind, I'm shook again. I nearly cried at the end. I cried the first time I read Magnolia Parks. I didn't cry the second time around. I almost did. I was getting some tear jerkers, but no real sobs this time around. But yeah, maybe for a part 2 of this series, since I have quite a few 5-star reads, I can include Daisy Hates. I don't know if I gave Daisy Hates 5 stars. I don't think I did because it wasn't on my list on Goodreads, but I gave all of Magnolia Parks, the whole series, 5 stars. So to me, that classifies like all the books being like 5 stars, even though I didn't officially rate each of them 5 stars. So, or maybe I can do a whole separate Magnolia Parks reading vlog, if like make it really like spoiler heavy. I don't know if I would want to do a spoiler free because I've already read them and I just need to talk about this with somebody who's read them. So you're on my computer again. Hey. I really wanted to do 3 books for this reading vlog and I've officially done 2. I think I can squeeze in 1 more. This was technically supposed to go up yesterday. So now I'm like, well, I'm already late. So we might as well just fit in another book anyways. And right now I quite literally need a mindless pick-me-up. Not that reading is mindless. Hey, hold on. Is that I need something to turn my brain off and focus on something else because I just filmed a TikTok for an hour using some makeup products. This makeup look right here, I filmed it and all the sound was corrupt. Can't use it. I'm so happy about it. And I also didn't post all weekend. The last TikTok I posted was on Friday and I didn't post Saturday or Sunday. I usually don't really post TikToks on Saturday or Sunday unless I have some extra content filmed. But I really don't tend to post on those days. And then I was intending to post today on Monday and I filmed it and I can't use any of the footage because the sound is just not there. It's not there and I'm thrilled. So I am trying not to stress and overthink about that because like I feel bad that I haven't posted in 3 days, but also like, you know, verbalizing that situation. I tend to do this a lot. I mean, once I verbalize a situation, then I'm like, okay, it's not as bad as it sounds. It's like, oh my gosh, you didn't post your silly little TikTok today. You missed 2 days. Get over it. But to me, it's like kind of a big deal. So I need to do something other than focus on TikTok. I need to like turn off my phone at the moment and read. So I think we're gonna pick up 1 more 5-star read from me, and it's one I've been meaning to reread because it's also an older 5-star read. And for the final book of this vlog, we are starting Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I am actually really excited to get into this. I was debating between this, Yours Truly, and Heartless to reread, and I ended up picking this one because this is what I remember, the book I remember the least out of those three options. So I'm gonna reread this, and the cover gives very much like entering August vibes, and we are in August. And I feel like I read this in August. I don't remember though, but the new cover is giving August, and I just got a special edition of it. Hold on, let me show you. I don't remember who released a special edition of this, of Love and Other Words. Sorry, it's flipped for you, but it's a hardback. She's stunning, so pretty. Like, are you kidding me? I don't remember the names of the characters either. That is why I'm prioritizing rereading this. So, and then it has a reverse dust jacket on it with them as kids because they met they hung out in a closet, right? Or something, as kids. So that is them as kids. That is the inside of the dust jacket. And then them older on the outside. Are you kidding me? And then I just love, even though this has nothing on it on the naked hardback, it just looks so sleek and classic. It looks like a classic novel. You know what I mean? Even though it's my cutesy little romance. So yes, I need to turn my brain off for the next hour or so because this day has it's Mondays. Usually, this is why I don't do a lot of my social media things on Mondays, just because it's I get started so late in the day on Mondays for whatever reason. I need to fix that. That's just my own internal habit of mine. But the Monday today has just not been going well. So I want to get this vlog up as soon as I can, though. I also need to film this week my July reading wrap up, which is the best month so far. I read 12 books. I think 12 books in July, which is the most I've read the entire year, which is insane. So I need to film that this week, but this should go up first. But yes, we are going to start Love and Other Words today. We'll see how far I can get. I'm going to try to get halfway just because this is the text is huge and it's under 400 pages, this book. Yeah, it's 350 pages. So hopefully I can get halfway today and see what I remember and see if it's still a 5-star read. All right. I hope to check back in with you later, and I hope future me has some thoughts and clips and something to say. So, okay, see you in a little bit. Okay guys, it is finally the end of this vlog. Oh my gosh. So I did finish Love and Other Words yesterday, and of course I am giving it 5 stars. It was actually kind of cool to go back in, at least with Magnolia Parks and Love and Other Words, because I gave them both 5 stars again. I didn't annotate them the first time I read these because I wasn't a huge annotator when I was first, like when I first picked up reading. So going back into these two books and like finally with a pen and just sitting down and like going through and marking it up, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I think the thing with Love in Other Words, I think if I read it, well, okay, I reread it and I am giving it 5 stars again because of just how like bingeable this story is. This story is nothing revolutionary. It is childhood friends to lovers. They don't talk for over a decade and then meet again and have to rehash why they stopped talking in the first place. So it's like a very basic premise of a book, but I think what makes it 5 stars is just the storytelling that Christina Olorin, what they're able to convey in this story with their writing. One sec, I got really hot. Like, I read this book in 2 days, yes, but I read it, more importantly, in only 2 sittings. Like, it took me 2 sit downs to get through this book. It was just that easy, and somehow able to get past all of the surface level stuff, like, and be bingeable at the same time, which is crazy. And I've only read this book and The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I haven't read any of their other books, but they just do such a great job with tying everything in a bow and saying, here you go, like, this is your perfect cute little romance, but also here are some gut-wrenching topics and you might cry. So that's what I love about their writing in particular. And I know this book is super popular and super well loved, and you can count on it being very well loved by me and still being 5 stars. So I'm very happy that I was able to reread this again. And with that, after 8 long days, this vlog is finally coming to an end. I hope it's not too long, and it's slightly been stressing me out because I have been like, I don't know why, I wasn't putting it off. I just like wasn't getting around to filming any content for it, but still somehow I'm probably gonna make this over 30 minutes long. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video and this vlog. I had so much fun rereading my 5-star reads. I definitely want to continue this series in the future because I have so many other 5-star reads that I want to get back to that maybe aren't 5-star reads anymore, like Miss Hopeless back there in the back. But if you like this video, make sure to give it a like if you did, and comment down below your most recent 5-star read. I would love to know, and subscribe, please. That would be so nice. I mean, you don't have to, but you can if you want. The links to all my social media are linked down below, including my Goodreads and Fable. You can friend request me on Goodreads and follow me on Fable, and I will accept your Goodreads friend requests and follow you back on Fable. Yeah, that's the one. So don't be shy. If you want to follow me on there, you totally can, and I will be friends with you. My TikTok and Instagram are also linked down below. My TikTok is more makeup focused. If that's something you're interested in, that's on my TikTok, and my Instagram is everything else. But that is all I have for you for today's video, and I hope to see you guys in another video soon. All right, bye!